Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Game Changer. I'm Maryam Zia. As we are going to celebrate Independence Day, it is important to focus on a powerful force that is going to be shaping the future of Pakistan, that is our youth. According to the latest National Human Development Report by United Nations Development Programme, Pakistan currently has one of the youngest populations it ever has in the history. And of course, as per different reports, 64% of our population comprises of people that are under the age of 30. This is one of the youngest population in the world and second youngest population in the region. When we have a youth bulge like that, it presents a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, a lot of challenges as well. In today's program, we will be exploring the challenges that today's youth is facing, what needs to be done when we talk about reforms in our education system, as well as providing economic opportunities to these young people. We will be talking about in all of this in today's program. We will be talking about the hopes, dreams and challenges that youth of today are facing. To discuss this and more, we are joined in the program by Mr. Abdul who is CEO Youth Impact. Welcome to the program. We're also joined by Ms. Izzah Niazi, who is a student and public speaker as well. Welcome to the program. And we're joined online by Mr. Amjad Daultana, who is social worker. Welcome to the program. So Izzah, let me start with you. What it is like a young person growing up in Pakistan today?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Now, coming towards your question, I'll first start generally and then link it towards my own personal experiences. So, youth, according to me, it directly translates to the future of the country. That means if the youth is strong today, it indirectly means the country is going to be strong tomorrow. So for a better future of the country, we need to empower the youth today. We need to start preparing for the change today. So personally about myself, Alhamdulillah, it's my personal experience. I'm not talking about from behalf of the entire youth, but I have been much privileged to be part of, I did my ONA levels from Beacon House, and currently I'm also studying in a renowned institution, National Defence University, and my parents and my family, they have also been much motivating and really encouraging, which helped me get through a lot of things and be a functional part of the society, or at least try to develop the personality that can be contributing towards the country tomorrow. But this is just about a small fraction of the youth today. As you have said, according to the UNDP, about 60% of the people of the entire country, they are less than 30 years old. That means there is a huge mass of people who are also deprived of such facilities or things that they are competent enough and they have the spark within themselves, but because of a few reasons, they are not being able to.
Right, we will be talking about those challenges, but Samad Saab, when we talk about, since you interact with young people every day, in your opinion, what are some of the challenges that you see youth of today facing in, of course, today's world, and how do you compare it to your generation per se?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Youth had been my passion, my profession and my mission for more than a decade now, because I believe that this is the reason for me to live back, to contribute to their life. So when I look to this current generation and the youth in Pakistan and across the globe, one word that comes to my mind which defines their outlook towards the life, it's VUCA. That volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous word. So, a lot of changes, a lot of continuous evolution and innovation in different aspects, from social perspective, political perspective, economic perspective, educational, employment, from from global perspective. There's so much going on and so much bombardment of information and change that it actually defines the characteristic of youth. So definitely, as we move forward, we can explore
Right,
further.
of course. We
Yeah.
will be talking about solutions and dreams in future as well. But let me start with, of course, because unemployment remains one of the basic issues that youth of Pakistan is facing. And also, this is a global phenomenon in today's uncertain economy, keeping in mind the wars and uncertain situation that we are facing in Middle East and other, of course, regions of the world. And today, 8.5% is the rate of youth unemployment in Pakistan. So what needs to be done to create those job opportunities? Of course, we need by that ratio over 1 million jobs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maryam, for this point. Here, using this platform, I would also like to, propagate one concept that I had been talking all over. It's a very small thing, but this shift of language actually shifts your mindset. So when we talk about youth, we call them leaders of future, or the future belongs to youth. So actually, we need to correct this, because today we have got 160 million population of youth. So they are today, they are present today, so they are not future. So they are being impacted by happening and government's policies and the events today. So let's shift our language towards calling our youth as leader of present, leader of today, because they are facing it. No one has seen the future. We don't know what comes ahead. So that's the first thing I would like to highlight in this conversation. And
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
So let me move to Mr. Amjad. Mr. Amjad, since you are a social worker as well, in your opinion, what are the basic challenges that the youth of today is facing, especially when we move towards the capacity building and skills development programs that are being offered to youth of today? What needs to be done to, of course, empower the youth in decision-making processes as well?
The main challenges the youth is facing in Pakistan, the biggest factor is unemployment. Unemployment, the inequality in education system. Okay. There is no specific programs, loans or incentives for youth, which can make them lead towards a progressive phase of their life. When we go towards the different parts of the countries, we see there is a crisis of opportunities. A guy sitting in the rural areas or rural suburbs of the country, the opportunities here not equal opportunities as compared to the people who are in the developed areas like Islamabad and Karachi.
Take the question of education, because education is very important when we talk about, of course, youth of today. But unfortunately, with the figures of over 2 million children out of school, and then those children, of course, growing up to be youth under the age bracket of 18 to 29. So Izzah, in your opinion, what kind of education reforms and educational opportunities are required at this point in time, since you are a student as well, and you, of course, interact with a lot of underprivileged youth as well?
That is a very valid question, first of all, and this area needs to be talked a lot about, because being a public speaker and a debater, I have interacted with many people, and I've seen many students out there who are much competent, who have the potential within themselves, but because of lack of opportunities and facilities, they're not being able to completely outshine in front of the world. So one thing is that governments should focus on spending funds and giving a big fraction of the money allocation towards the development of more schools and institutions that are going to train or educate the youth. Secondly, more schools should be provided for or built for the women of Pakistan as well. Over here, the women education also needs to be talked a lot about, because more than 50% of the population of Pakistan comprises of female folk. And I do not believe that a country is going to prosper or is going to develop if we take out more than 50% of the population. So as simple as it sounds, we need to empower the females in order to functionally be a part of the competitive world ahead and perform well. So
right. And
that.
Samad, what's your take on this? That what kind of reforms are needed in our education system to better prepare youth of today for the future challenges?
Oh, well, Maryam, I have a different opinion. I think that we need a big break right now, because the way we are moving on this space, it's not going to lead us anywhere. Because especially when you see Pakistan's positioning from global perspective, education is the basic institution that develops nation. Now, the curriculum, it's obsolete. The concepts, the inclusivity models, because as you said that, we have got one of the top countries with out of school children. So, that is one factor that needs to be addressed. And then the classification from elites and from the middle class and from the poor, and then madrasa system. So, there are so many classes of education that with this outlook, we are not going anywhere.
But Samad, that stands true for a lot of countries in the world, that of course there is classism. So, of course, we need an education emergency, and we have been hearing this since we have been, of course, growing up. But with limited resources, what can be done?
One point solution, if you want to talk about, is ed tech. The emerging technology, which is swapping the whole world. You go in agriculture, you need technology. You go in finance, you need technology. You go in education, you need technology. And that is the solution where actually we see a lot of initiatives by a lot of young Pakistanis who are reaching out to those out of school children and bringing that education to their home. So I believe that a major paradigm shift where incorporation of technology into our learning system is where we can transform without major expenses in this whole education system.
Right, right. And Mr. Amjad, what's your take on this, that how significant is the role of technical and vocational training, especially for the youth of Pakistan, to empower them, especially in regards to economic challenges?
I think technical education is right now is the key role in the development of any country. If we look at India, our neighboring countries, they are earning around, I think, 240 billion plus dollars per year from their the guys who are working in technical field. As compared to it, our I think it's technical revenue is around 2.3 billion dollars. So that is quite a significant difference. To if the government can incentivize, they can make tax cuts, they can make loans for the tech guys, and many other things which could be included, like in technical education, skilled education, to empowering companies, global companies, multinational companies, giving them relief and tax cuts. To the tax could be a vital goal. I think a huge revenue can be collected. It needs to be prioritized.
Right, right, right. And let me take the same point to Samad Sab. Samad Sab, what's your take on this? That what are some of the basic challenges that young entrepreneurs especially are facing today, and what needs to be done to address those challenges? Because of course a lot of us cannot depend on the government jobs, and we have to be job creators, not the job seekers. With of course over 60% of your population comprising of young people, we cannot look towards the government to of course come to their homes and give them jobs. So it is important to create a conducive environment. So what's your take on this?
So taking a lead from what you said, that we are creating jobs for almost 1 million youth, which is not enough, because our education system is producing almost 4 million young people who are in the age of working. So this gap is huge. So the solution is in entrepreneurship, and we can't expect government jobs, we can't even expect the corporate jobs. So this is where the solution lies, and we have been seeing this shift in last almost 2 decades in Pakistan, because I've seen a lot of young people who had been into engineering or business sciences or social sciences, but they ended up setting up a startup or a business. Which is a good thing. Which is definitely the solution, which is the way out. So the problem, the challenge which they are facing right now as a society, as young entrepreneurs. So firstly, it's the enabling environment. So if there is instability in the political system, if law and order is not in place, if justice is not working, because that's where again it's impacting a lot in the society. And then the reforms to establish these kind of businesses, because at the level of SCCP there's a lot of going on, but still more to be done to enable these kind of young startups, so that they have this confidence. Their parents, they have trust that, okay, if my daughter has studied engineering, but now she wants to go and set up a business, so that's not something off the track. So they are happy because they see the success defined through that. So I believe a comprehensive strategy where the government reforms play its part, the private sector has lot to do in terms of coming up with those opportunities and ideas, a lot of investment, and at the same time a lot of expectation from youth as well, because I see that aspiration is there to do their own businesses, but that resilience, that sustainable approach, and that vision to sustain those challenges, because doing business is not easy job. So you have to have show that resilience to sustain. Then when you cross that threshold, definitely it's going to excel. So a lot of expectation from youth as well.
Right, of course. And when we talk about a lot of expectations that Pakistan has from youth, but Izzah, don't you think a lot of young people we see around today thinking of moving away from Pakistan, moving abroad? What's your take on this, and what needs to be done to retain the brightest of our brains, and of course to curtail the brain drain?
Brain drain is a very big issue over here in Pakistan that we have seen, especially in the last few years of our country. And in order to at least try to minimize that, what we can do is provide the reason why youth is leaving the country is to avail opportunities that our country is not providing, unfortunately. So in order to stop, or in order to limit the number of people who are leaving the country, what we can do is at least try to come forward with ideas or opportunities that can be availed, or that can be benefited the most from within the country's premises.
Secondly, and what kind of opportunities, in your opinion, could be presented to the young people?
For example, scholarship programs for the youth. If we specifically talk about the student folk or the people who are still studying, this scholarship is a very big issue or a very big point due to which people tend to leave the country and move abroad, because many big institutions over here in Pakistan are not providing enough scholarships or not providing enough quota system for the students to avail proper opportunities and get a good education. Whereas some abroad universities that are established abroad, they are providing them with the opportunities, so students tend to lose.
At some point it would be a good thing that some of the students go abroad, study in international universities and bring in that experience. But
exactly.
When we talk about brain drain, that is a whole story. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, being an optimist, I have a different perspective to look at this picture. Actually, I had proposed the government to design it in a way to convert it into an opportunity, because Pakistan, being a developing nation, we do not have or we can't offer as much as possible opportunities for these huge bulge of youth population. So one of the reliance in terms of employability is our global network. So for example, we have to be mindful and we have to strategize to export our human resource to the world. So yes, right now it's brain drain.
But they should be skillful.
Exactly, skillful, and as I said, mindful. It has to be part of strategy, because you identify what kind of skills are needed in which part of the country, and then you prepare those number of young people for that country, and then you send more people to other countries. This has to be designed at the government level. It can't be done at the public. So when the pressure comes to the public, definitely they will go for the opportunities. That's the reason.
And in your opinion, what kind of sectors are there in which we could focus on at this point in time, keeping in mind that we have a huge population under the age of 29?
IT. That's our game changer, right? That's what we call this program, the game changer. So to me, because our young people, they are born into this gadgets.
Digital savvy.
Yeah, exactly. So the Gen Z and now Gen Alpha, now they are so much connected with technology that we don't have to teach them basics. So they know the basics. We just need to upskill them with all those developmental tools. And this is where the world needs us. And this is where we have to plan it in a strategy, as I said, that we have to export our skilled, IT skilled youth to the world, which is going to pay a great amount of remuneration in return to this skill. So this is where I believe that if you want to focus on one agenda point, is to upskill our youth in terms of IT, in terms of the emerging artificial intelligence and all these technologies.
Right,
Yeah.
that's very important. And Mr. Amjad, what's your take on this, especially when we talk about IT sector, keeping in mind a huge population of young people? How significant is public-private partnership in that regard, and what kind of conducive environment is needed at this point in time?
The major reason for all of these are the monetary reasons. They are not political or social reasons. I think the conducive environment is could be provided by giving a peaceful environment, okay, by giving access to finances to global companies, by giving them a proper channel and mechanism. Here, the governments keep changing and the policies keep changing. So the companies prefer not to invest there in such a situation where the political tensions keeps arousing all the time. In such circumstances, people prefer to go abroad. So public-private partnership is needed at a large scale. We should be sponsored by a constant policy of exploration for at least for decades. So
Right.
investments could be made. It's effective.
Right, of course, we have to create that conducive environment. But is coming towards generation of today that is tech savvy, and how do you think that social media has changed or is changing aspirations of young people?
Social media is a very big platform. It's as simple as I quote it. It's a very big platform. It's spread from it's spread across the globe, from connecting people from everywhere in the entire globe, on the entire globe. So the thing is that everything comes with its pros and its cons. But sometimes it's up to the user how you are making the use out of it. It can be used in order to help you boost the economy of the country. For example, many online businesses that many countries out there, developed countries, they are completely relied on their online businesses or online system. So social media is playing a very vital role in their development, whereas it comes with its cons, and there is a big list of that too. But in a very short, if I concluded, the thing is that social media is a very big platform, and it is very important to be part of everybody's lives, so that with the changing world ahead, we can also connect with what's going on in the entire world. And it is giving opportunities to many people out there who are, due to some reason, one reason or the other, they're not being able to be acknowledged or come up in front of everybody. So.
Right, Izzah. And the same question to you, Samasab, since you interact with a number of young people every day and you have been interacting with them over a decade now, how have you seen the aspirations of young people changed over time with, of course, evolution of social media today?
Exactly. To me, this is the biggest thing for them in their life. To me, social media or digital media is life for them, because they wake up with their mobile phone, and then they spend the whole day, they see things from digital perspective. So they buy things from their phone, they study from their phone, they connect with people from their phone. So this is so much overwhelming their whole life system, because it had truly converted them into what we call the global citizen. Because
but don't you think it has a downside as well, that there is a disconnect from reality? Of course, they are globally connected, and of course, like you said, there is peer pressure as well when they are seeing these things coming on social media. So, do you think there is a disillusionment as well in youth of today?
Okay, I would say that this is a time where we need to get out of that complaint mode of digital media, because it is a reality, it is a fact, it is there, it's not going anywhere in next few decades. So this is yes, definitely it has its downside, it is impacting.
Since you are an optimist, so I was going to be a devil's advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that conversation, because we need to identify the problems that it's impacting their physical, mental, emotional health, their social life. their every aspect. And then it has to be designed in a way that we use it as our ally, not as our enemy. So this is where the responsibility comes to the state and the private sector and organization like ourselves, that we need to create those opportunities. For example, digital detox is one big need for these young people, staying connected with the nature. There's a huge gap which is impacting their whole life. So it has to be designed in their education, in their social life. Similarly, the employment, as I said, that it can be, as I said, that a lot of opportunities can come through digital media. So it has to be channelized. And the parents need to be educated as well, that it's not a waste of time, rather it can be used for the betterment of the...
It can be productive as well,
exactly.
but we need those kind of facilities for young people to be involved in. So what's your take on the sports activities today, since we have a gold medalist who made us proud at the Olympics? So what do you think, what kind of sports facilities are needed by young people?
Yeah, I think this is a great moment for the whole nation to celebrate this gold medal after a long time. And then again, credit goes to a young guy who took this initiative without a lot of support from the external system. It was his own will, and that is actually the national character of Pakistan.
A resilient nation.
Yeah, a resilient nation. They don't have a lot of resources. They are determined and they want to fight back, and they create their own solutions. So, but we need to stop that cycle, because we need to come together to back these young people as a nation. Yes, a good design, because this is good to celebrate that we have got gold medal, but at the same time there's this matter of concern that with such a huge population, just 7 or 8 participated in the Olympics.
So we could have created hundreds of Arshad Nadeems coming out of Olympics.
So which means our facilities at local level, so not just provincial level, we have some good stadiums for different sports in big cities. But what about those youth? Because Arshad is not coming from a big city, he is from small,
far-flung
exactly. So how we can bring those facilities, and again the solution is in the education system, because our government schools are designed in a way that they have got physical infrastructure, having playgrounds for cricket, football, tennis, and all other sports within the school system. This is where we can expect that maybe 10 years later we can grow more people like Arshad Nadeem by a systematic design.
Right. And of course this success story also brings in the question of social justice as well. So Mr. Amjad, since you are a social worker, what's your take on this, that what needs to be done to create an inclusive environment for young people from across different, of course, parts of the countries and different regions of the country?
People deserve equal education standards, equal opportunities for sports, equal opportunities in every field of life now. We lack equal opportunities in sorry?
How can young people contribute to, of course, creating that social justice, like you were also alluding to the unequal opportunities that are being provided to the youth of Pakistan?
Young people can contribute if they are well-learned people. They need a quality education is required for a proper contribution in the society. Financial resources are required for it, and I think there should be legislation for youth. Youth should get the opportunities in financial terms. They should be empowered in all the ways, so they can contribute.
Right. Let me bring the same question to Izzah as well. Izzah, in your opinion, how can we bridge the gap between urban and rural youth, and especially when we talk about social injustice? What role can young people like yourself play in this?
Population over here in Pakistan, the urban population is obviously it is increasing, but the rural population is increasing massively. So the thing is that we need to come up with initiatives that are going to cater their needs and their equality rights as well. So first of all, the thing is that providing people with adequate amount of education is going to equip them with the thought, with the mindset that they also need to contribute towards the economy, towards the country in general. So providing them with education with building more schools or introducing them to quality education is going to help them jump out of the stereotype that's been drawn in the rural areas. This is not just going to help educate the overall population of Pakistan, but this is also going to help normalize the issue of excessive urbanization. That is also a very big problem over here in the country. Secondly, as I have stated previously as well, that the youth directly translates to the future of the country. That means the more we are investing in the youth today, that means we're indirectly investing our time, our money, whatever, we are investing it in the future of the country. So the more we are catering their needs, their problems, their issues, the better is going to be the country's condition in the future, inshallah.
Right, and Izzah, like we earlier discussed, that youth of today has become, of course, global citizens because of the social media exposure. But what about cultural identity? How do you think youth of today identify themselves being a Pakistani, since we are going to be celebrating Independence Day?
As much as we are advancing towards the we're currently in 21st century, and as much as the time is advancing ahead, like advancement in AI, in internet, in other things, people, especially youth, this is a very sad and an unfortunate angle to this thing, that somewhere they are disconnecting from the cultural, from the norms, from their traditions as a Pakistani, or from wherever they belong. There is a void that's been created because of the advancement in the AI, what do you say, internet, or whatever you call it.
And how significant, in your opinion, is to retain your roots and to identify and to, of course, retain those cultural values that we have?
Dekhiye ji, being a patriot is the first thing. Pakistan is the motherland. This country has given a lot for us. It has done a lot for us. And if tomorrow we become somebody, the first thing that we need to do is let it reflect in our personality and let the country at least benefit from us. So first thing is that being a Pakistani, we are Pakistani first, and then we can identify as somebody else. But first thing is being a Pakistani.
Right. And Samatha, what's your take on this? How significant is the role of cultural identity in changing aspirations of young people today?
Right. So when you look at the dynamics of this country, our ideological roots go down to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because that's where we derive our ideologies, and that's where we see the character becomes the most important thing for any human being. And then that character is based on the values of being truthful and trustworthy. So that is the basic foundation of any nation, especially if they believe in this faith system. So when it travels down to this geography, so Pakistan being the ideology of this nation, we can't progress without connection with these ideologies. And definitely we have to go ahead, we have to be a global citizen. But I believe that these two ideologies, being a Pakistani and being rooted into that character of trustworthiness and truthfulness, and that's where a lot of problems will be solved if we address these issues to build that character in the nation. So I believe a lot of deliberate efforts are needed, and especially for young people to understand, and actually it's happening, because when
and what kind of efforts are needed?
Yeah.
Are those required at the family system level, or when we talk about education system in Pakistan today?
So, I mean, it's not one solution, because family system is where our basic values are being developed, and then we see gap in parenting as well, and then we see the gap in education system as well, and we see the role of media. A lot of role has to be played over there to bring that, because it's not just about raising green flag and saying this slogans like Pakistan Zindabad. It is good, you need to celebrate that. But at the same time, you need to understand that what are the sacrifices, what was the vision of founding fathers of this country, and what is our strategic position in the globe. So instead of being influenced by external perspective and narratives, we need to understand our own narrative. So that's where I believe a comprehensive effort from education to the government advocacy, from civil society movements, from local family efforts to bring those ideology into the character of young people. That's where I believe that we can move forward with a confident Pakistani face
Right, right. And Samad Saab, in your opinion, what kind of steps are needed by the government at this point in time to involve and engage young people, youth, in decision-making processes?
Uh, First of all, the most important thing, I believe that we need to listen to young people, because without empathy, without understanding what inspires them, what they want to do or what they expect from the life, we can't design anything for them. So the most important thing for any institution, be it state, be it corporate sector, be it media, be it education, we need to listen more and more to young people, because we need to engage. So how we can do that? We need to sit with them, we need to bring them on those forums where they can actually, without any external influence, they can speak up without the fear of judgment. So that's the basic thing. We need to shift our paradigms where elderly people are making policies and decisions for youth, about youth. Second thing, I believe that legislation and the engagement in politics, this is very important, because with such a huge population, you can't detach them with this most important aspect of society, where the decisions are made, where the laws are made. So you are making laws for 65% of population without their engagement.
And you need to engage them.
Yeah.
And Samad Saab, and let me go to Izzah. Izzah, what do you think is the role of initiatives like Prime Minister Youth Program and other such initiatives in, of course, engaging young people? Do you think we need to do more?
Exactly, we really need to do more of these, because as you have already said that, and we know that more than 65% or almost 65% of the country comprises of youth or people under 30 years old. So the thing is that much more initiatives should be taken in order to boost or in order to help and encourage youth come forward and represent the country ahead. Another thing is that with new problems, with new complex issues, we need new solutions. We need fresh minds, fresh brains to come up and tackle issues in a different manner. And for that, we need to empower the youth, and then with the grace of Allah
Right,
subhanahu wa ta'ala,
and
we'll be
when we talk
able to do
about
that.
youth empowerment, of course, economic challenges, I keep on going back to the basics, because this remains one of the important issues that young people today are facing. But when we talk about different statistics, around 30% of young people, only 30% of young people consider them, of course, financially literate. This figure is not very, of course, good when we look at the number of young people. What needs to be done to improve this number?
So this is true that Pakistan is, since we are still a developing country, we are facing issues over here where we are not equipped with much facilities or much initiatives that can be taken in order to provide the entire youth population with the adequate amount of opportunities. But the thing is that everybody has to do a struggle to achieve a milestone. Some people have to just start from the scratch and start from point zero, and some it is easier for some, but struggle is there in both the cases. And then with the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, opportunity comes your way, then it's up to you how you are making the best out of it, and it comes to everybody. The thing is how you are tackling it and how you make
Right, and
use out of
Samad
it.
Saab, of course, education remains an important issue, but beyond education, functional illiteracy is an important issue. What kind of strategies are needed to tackle that?
Right. So again, I would refer to that one agenda point. We have solutions with ed tech. So I mean, in terms of basic literacy, up to the functional literacy, up to the skills development, this is our way forward, where not just the private sector, which is doing good, and it needs a lot to do there, but the government's patronage is very important for engaging young people into this learning and development process and upskilling using technology. So I would again, stick with that basic strategy, because it has a lot of solutions and a lot of working. For example, we saw this State Bank's financial literacy program. So it was such a powerful program, but at the basic level. Now that has to be excelled, where every young person learns and understands how to manage their finances. So I believe that putting things into technology and making it accessible for every young person, be it in urban or rural, that is where we can easily manage this problem.
Right, and since we are coming towards the conclusion of the program, on this Independence Day, what message would you like to give to the youth of Pakistan regarding their role in contributing to future of Pakistan?
Right. I would say it's a very basic and practical thing. We must celebrate 14th of August with pride and, with this warmth in our heart for our country. But that demands some action. So those small actions, especially when we look at the climate effect in this country, especially and all over the world, we are getting floods every year, we are getting a lot of rains, and we are getting a lot of hot. So what a young person, a common youth can do, you can at least save that littering. You can at least save that extra water in your showers, in your your washing and all that. You can be more eco-conscious when you are buying products. You can reduce maybe plastic in your day-to-day life. So one small act. This is where we just multiply this number into 160 million. You'll see the difference in the society. Yeah.
Right. And Izzah, same question to.
So my message to youth is very simple. The thing is that please realize the power that you hold. Please realize what you're capable of doing and do not waste your potential. You are the future leader. You are the person who is going to be in charge of everybody in the upcoming years. So please be very serious about your studies, about your own life, about the way you are tackling things right now, because you are the hope of this country and you have to bring the positive change.
Right. And Mr. Amjad, what message would you like to give to young people today on this Independence Day regarding their role in the future of Pakistan?
My message is youth should be honest with themselves. They should work hard for themselves to bring progress and prosperity and make their life. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Amjad Daultana, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Samad Khan, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Ms. Izzah Niazi, for joining us in today's program. Of course, when we talk about Pakistan, the future of this country rests in the hand of its youth. It is important that we engage these young people in decision-making processes and, of course, empower them. That's all from Game Changer tonight. Take care. Allah Hafiz.